Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Critical, and welcome back to episode 27, I believe, of Minecraft Bedrock Edition. We're over here at the harbor because, check it out, the resource pack is finally back. It took a bit of a hiatus on the series while we waited for this to pop back up. And it has been a while. It's been about 2 weeks that this has been down, but it has reappeared, and you may notice already, the armor and everything has now been updated, and I think that's why the pack was down for a while, is that all of the new 1.16 blocks and items and mobs and stuff were getting added to the resource pack and being updated to match the kind of 32 by 32 texture style that we have here. Today we're going to be working on a new project over here at the harbor, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but first I want to head over to the nether base real quick, because I want to see what the new textures look like with our base. So let's fly off in that direction. I've already taken a little bit of a look, but I haven't really gone over here and looked at everything. I know what the basalt and the blackstone look like, but I want to see what they kind of look like at the base and everything, and make sure there's nothing that we need to change. So let's fly over here real quick. I want to see it when you guys do. Here we go. So first things first, and I knew this already, the basalt is it's a very intense texture. There's a lot of different roughness going on with it. And the pillars, on the contrary, are very, very smooth. That being said, the wall itself doesn't look much different. Like if we go down here and we look at the wall, it really doesn't look any different. And honestly, it kind of makes the pillars pop a bit more, which I like. So I'm pretty happy with this change. I think this looks pretty good. Blackstone has a bit of a bluish texture now. Just the slightest hint of blue, which I'm not a huge fan of, but honestly, looking at this, it hasn't changed much. Like, the build still looks pretty much the same as it did before, but with, obviously the 32 wide textures now. I have gone to the end base to look at that, because we have those bombs out front that are made out of blackstone, and we have some of the support beams for the rail track that are made out of that as well. And the support beams don't look great there, so we may end up having to change those to something else, but the bombs out front look fine. There's not really any issue with that. So I think everything is pretty much... I actually haven't looked at the piglins yet. This guy actually hasn't been updated. He's no different than... Yeah, he's still or at least I think he is. No, maybe this is a... No, that is a new texture. It just looked very, very similar to the default one, but that is definitely more pixels than it normally has. But anyway, so I just want to kind of check that out and make sure that we didn't really have any issues here. But honestly, I think everything looks just as good as it did before. I don't really have any problems with that at the moment. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, that was a big kind of stress relief. I was worried whenever that happened, because I knew eventually it would happen. I was worried it would kind of mess things up, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with all of those changes. So I'm going to head back over to the harbor. I have a little bit more resource gathering to do before we get started on the project we're going to be working on today. But I'm going to make my way over there, grab that stuff, and then we will discuss what we're going to be working on for this episode. Okay, so I was able to gather a bunch of the materials that we need and kind of outline where we're going to do this thing. We'll talk a little bit about what we're going to be building here in just a second. But I need to redo this road, because basically Austin and I were talking about this the other day, and we were kind of looking at this and we felt weird about the transition from here to here. And we discussed that kind of my original plan for the straight roads was just to keep them to being like this road here, and then one kind of at the back of the harbor way over there. And it kind of is weird to have them, mix and stretch out. So what I think we're going to do is tear out this whole straight road here and replace it with one like this. And we're going to kind of wind out this way a bit and then loop back in around here. You know, it'll swing out a little bit and then kind of come back in and meet up over here somewhere. And all three, or I guess all four of these paths will kind of merge together over on this side. But the reason I want to do that is I want to pull this out a little bit to give myself a little bit of space to put this building. Because it's kind of big, and I want there to be enough room for you to, like, see through here, kind of, from back here. Which you will be able to, a bit, but I'd rather kind of be able to see that building through between. So I'd like to pull this forward, like, 3 or 4 blocks. But what this building is going to be is we're actually going to be building a pillager outpost. Now, it's not going to be a copy of a pillager outpost. We're actually going to be building it in this style. It's going to kind of be a merge between this and the pillager outpost. But basically, what I want to do is I want to kind of have like a, I guess like a place for all the stuff we're getting from the raid farm to be sold, and it's going to be super, super cheap, like ridiculously cheap. Like probably 1 iron ingot per like stack of redstone or something like that. Like it's going to be, you know, ridiculously low price because we're getting it for free, so I just kind of want to give it away. And I may extend this to include some other things like gold from the gold farm or something. I haven't really decided yet. This may expand and include some other items at some point, but I think if we ever did that, we'd do like a basement kind of thing. Like we'd go down and have some other rooms below. But for now, we're just building a pillager outpost with kind of all of the stuff in the shop down here, and then I may build myself a little office up on the top floor up there. But yeah, so this is going to be kind of tall. I'm kind of trying to transition from the shorter buildings back here into the taller stuff. Trent did a really good job of that here. This building is pretty tall. I mean, most of these buildings up here are fairly tall, right? They're all 2 stories. This one's 3 stories here. This one here, though, is 3 stories as well, and we're kind of getting closer to what this one is. But I would say, in comparison to the size of these, this one's like 5 or 6 stories. So we really need something here to kind of build that in. Now, this is going to block our view of the bookstore quite a bit, but we're still going to be able to see it from a bunch of other angles and stuff, so I'm not too worried about it. And I think it'll make this view right here look a lot cooler if we've got 2 big buildings here and here. As far as block palette goes, we're going to be using a lot of different wood types, and instead of cobblestone, what do you want? Oh, I have a carrot in my hand. Instead of cobblestone, we're actually going to be using stone brick and replacing a lot of that with that kind of stuff. And I'm going to try to come up with some detailing stuff too to do, just like some special kind of designs and stuff. But I'm going to quit rambling, get to where I do that a lot. But I'm going to tear out this path here, get rid of all this all the way up to there, and then add in the little winding path that we want to add through here so that we can get started on this. All right, so we have gotten the path torn out and replaced it with the new one. I just kind of did like a archway that, well, not really an archway, but just kind of a bend that goes out this way and connects back up with the original path. I added a bunch of these light posts going down this way. I think we are going to continue these all the way through wherever we can, wherever the paths are wide enough. And then I added this kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of like a fence sort of thing, a wall, but I've replaced a lot of the walls with leaves, so it's kind of like a mixture of the two. And then I flattened out the area that this is going to go in. I moved it forward, I think 1 or 2 blocks. It's enough that you can see this, but I realized that you can also just see it straight from over here. There's a huge opening to here, so I don't think it's as important that you can see it from back here. Because we don't want the harbor to be based, we don't want any build really to be based on looking at it from one view. Hello. You want it to be based on seeing it from everywhere and being able to see things from different angles. So I think we're okay on that part. But other than that, I think that was all the changes that I needed to make here. I have the materials, obviously, that we need to do for the actual thing. Oh, this is the other thing I did. This was pretty straight before. I added a few more of these path blocks in with this one to match what I think Austin had done here to connect up to this building. And then I just kind of extended this down to connect over to here. So I think we're good on that part. But I need to figure out what I want to do with this actual building. I think what I want to do is have like the base be the actual pillager outpost. And then have everything after that be, I want to build like where... It's hard to explain because I don't know how to explain how normal pillager outposts look. So, you know, it's normally like this, I guess. Let's see here. Do I have the materials to make this example? Yes. So normally it's like this, and then there's pillars in the corners, and then there's kind of like a roof like this. Like this is pretty much how a pillager outpost normally looks. What I want to do instead is when we get up here, I'd rather have it look, I guess something like this, where we have like a overhanging building here. That's kind of like one of these buildings pretty much sat on top of our normal thing. So I need to figure out exactly how I want to do that and how I want to get that done. And then I need to figure out how to, I guess, get all of the items over here and figure out what all we're going to have in here. So I guess I need to head over to the raid farm and collect a lot of those materials and bring them over here. And then I think at that point, that's probably going to be time for us to start building this thing. I don't think we're going to work on much else today. I think we're going to focus on getting this build in place. But let me go. I might go into Creative World or something and design something, or I might just rebuild a pillager outpost somewhere so I can take a look at it or go find one. And then, yeah, I'm going to go gather all those materials and we'll head back over here and start getting this thing built up. All right, so we have made quite a lot of progress here. I've got the bottom half of the building all in place. You can see the similarities. It kind of looks like the pillager outpost. I've changed all the blocks, obviously, though, and there's normally like an opening here. I've turned this into like a window area. I want to put some end rods like I did here in between these fence posts here on every side. All the way around the building. Added a bell here as well. And I need to get some more lanterns to extend around to these. I ran out before I could. But up here, I've added in these kind of cross beams that go back and forth. What I want to do is with the platform up here on top, I want to have it be a little bit longer on the front and back sides and keep it kind of short. I don't even know if I'll go past here on this side. And then up at the top, we're going to have 4 pillars like there normally are, and then a roof that sits across, but the roof's going to look more like one of these guys. Probably something like this, rather than the kind of normal round top that it would normally be. And then up here, we're going to have just kind of like an open floor area with maybe like a desk or something up top that's like somewhere for me. And we'll probably have... we'll probably honestly have scaffolding somewhere to get up there. Maybe like right here in the middle or something, and then all the chests and everything for the sales will be here at the bottom. I've added some banners here. I'm going to do a few more at the top as well, hanging off of probably these areas or maybe off the fronts of these little poles here. I'm honestly not sure. I am... What was that? Is that a horse? No, that's a spider. I'm gonna kill it. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. I didn't understand what the blob that went into there was. But I'm gonna get this other top part built now. I gotta get that in place. Shouldn't take me too much longer. And then we can start working on interior stuff, but I just want to show you guys what we've done so far. Also, I'd like to point out, you can totally see that building through here like I wanted. Because this kind of curves in here, you can definitely see it through there. And honestly, it doesn't block that much of the bookstore. From the entrance of the city, it's blocked quite a bit, but that was always going to happen. There was probably always going to be a building here, so I'm not too bothered by it. I'm hoping, though, that we can keep a nice line of sight from here to over there, but I'm not sure. I'm hoping we can leave this little alley open so you can see that. Maybe put a building here so you can see through still. But let me finish this building here and get that done, and then we'll work on the interior a bit before we end off the episode. Well, here it is. So we've got the roof on, got the big platform up here. We're going to be starting on the interior soon. I got to grab some glass and some other materials to make some furniture and stuff. But if we head up top, nothing else has changed down here, really. When you get up here, though, floor's all half slabs going across. I kind of did like some designs to merge the There's a bit of pillar stuff left over from the bottom. Just kind of merging all that up into the roof. And then we have kind of this very interesting roof. So the edges of the roof kind of curve up on the ends. And if we go actually out here, I need to get a bunch more lighting going on this build. That's the thing that I'm got to go get as well. But I had the roof do this thing as well. So the middle of the roof kind of dips in like that. I don't have any rockets right now, so I can't really get a good vantage point. Here, let's head up over here real quick, and I will show you guys what the top of this looks like. But yeah, so we're gonna get some materials together, and then we're gonna start building the furniture. I may do like a little time-lapse type thing for that. I'm not quite sure yet. Let's head over this way. This is kind of a good view of it. But yeah, you can see that it kind of arches down like that. And I added some banners on the edges and stuff as well. I kind of rounded the corners of the platform to give it a bit more shape. The normal platform's, you know, pretty round, so I wanted to keep it kind of like that. But you can definitely see that it's you know, sort of like a pillager outpost. Obviously, it's very different because we're trying to keep with the harbor style. But I think it did a pretty good job of mixing both of those builds together. But yeah, so I got to get the materials for that so that we can start working on all that. And then I got to start bringing over all the resources from the actual raid farm. And I'll probably farm there for a bit. But I'm going to start gathering all of that stuff up. I think next episode, I was thinking about this earlier. I think next episode we're going to do some Halloween decoration. Maybe start on a Halloween project over at the End base. I've got a couple of ideas for stuff like that. We also at some point have to redesign the creeper farm before the next beta gets released as a full version, because I was watching Silent Whisper today, and he was going over all the bugs that have been fixed recently, and one of them is that buttons no longer act as full blocks, so creepers aren't going to be actually falling through our creeper farm anymore, so we're going to have to fix that up. But I'll probably just rebuild it somewhere else, honestly, because I need to rebuild it out of something that's not cobblestone. I've been meaning to do that for a while. But I'm going to start getting all of that furniture together. I think I will probably just do like a clip montage thing for that. And then I'm going to add some lighting in as well. I think I'm going to have some stuff hanging from the top here and some little lanterns hanging from here. I'm going to get those end rods. I'll probably have to head to the end for that to go in these little fences here. And then I will go get all the stuff from the raid farm. And that'll probably do it for this episode once we kind of do a walkthrough of everything, how it looks once we get all that done. So that's going to be that. But I'll be right back. We'll do the montage now, and we'll see what we can get done. All right, so I know I said we were going to do the furniture stuff on camera in a time-lapse or something, but it ended up just being me screwing around with a bunch of different stuff and tearing stuff down and rebuilding it. So I decided we're just going to do kind of a walkthrough, a little bit of a tour. So here we go. This is the first floor. I'm actually really happy with the interior design for both levels on this thing. And we'll read the book in a second that discusses how the shop works, because it's a little unique from the other shops that we've built here on the server. But as you can see over here, we've got kind of the stuff there's a little bit more of that we're getting from the farm. We've got all of the kind of rare items from the witches that are over here in the front, stacked up at various levels. Over here, I've added some just kind of like extra storage for stuff that can't fit in these chests. I actually need to tear that out. And then back here, I just added like some bookshelves and looms and stuff to look like empty bookshelves, and a clock back here and stuff, just to have a little bit of extra stuff stored over here. And then here, which there should be an employees only sign here, but it's not there for some reason. Here, if we go up, we have a little scaffolding going up to the top here, which is like an office space. So this is kind of like my little desk chair. There's a couple of guest chairs over here. A little bit of a storage chest for myself just to have over here at the harbor, because I find myself needing them all over the place. And then just some bookshelves and some other random stuff kind of scattered around up here. So nothing too crazy. I added in a little bit of lighting up here as well. I think a spider climbed up here earlier as well. I don't know where he went. I keep hearing him. Oh, he must be inside this building now. But if we head down over to the front, we've also called this the Trading Depot. This is version 1.0. We're going to talk about that a little bit in a second. But let's read what the README book has to say. Hello there. Welcome to version 1.0 of the Trading Depot, brought to you by Prime Industries. That's me. The intention of this shop is to eventually have it sell all of the items that we are collecting from the automated farms across the server. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Currently, as this is only version 1.0, the Trading Depot is only selling items obtainable from the raid farm. Note, enchanted books, iron gear, and pillager banners are sold through the bookstore, forge, and banner stand, respectively. So those aren't sold here. We've been kind of outsourcing those to other shops. Now, the prices for each of the items that are sold throughout the shop are listed on the final pages of this book. The size of this book will, of course, increase with each expansion that is made for the shop. However, the pricing for the Trading Depot is a bit different than other shops in the district. While the prices are listed in diamonds, there are a plethora of items you can choose to trade instead. Next page. Here are the exchange rates. Each number of items listed equates to 1 diamond. So if you don't want to pay 1 diamond, you can instead choose to pay any of this. You can pay 4 iron ingots, 64 paper, 32 leather, string, 2 name tags, 2 phantom membranes, a music disc, 16 lapis, 32 nether quartz. Basically, all of these things, if you want, you could give me 32 nether quartz, and that equates to 1 diamond. Now, those are some examples, but if you wish to pay with another item, feel free. Just be fair with your rates. Use the previous page here as a guide. Note, we do not accept items that can be obtained from automated farms. So, basically, I also need to add a note here that we don't accept blocks. We don't accept blocks or items that can be... We don't accept blocks, and we also don't accept items that can be obtained from automated farms, because I don't want people giving me blocks. I want this to be an item exchange. But I'll change that in a second. Item prices. Raid farm. Totems of 1 diamond each. Saddles, 1 diamond for 2. This is so you can get 2, and if you need to set up like a breeding thing or anything, you can get enough for both. Arrows, 1 diamond for 3 stacks. Sticks are free, and that's not even a thing. Spider eyes, 1 diamond for 16. Glowstone, 1 diamond for 16. Gunpowder and redstone are each 1 diamond for 32. And bottles and sugar are 1 diamond for 16 as well. So those are the exchange rates for everything in the shop that we have here. It got dark while we were reading that. So people can go in, they can pay all those different things. I need to set up a payment chest, actually. Let's do that real quick, just so that we have that in here. So yeah, this shop is basically, it's sort of a pay what you want sort of thing. Obviously, I still want to be making stuff out of this, but it's just kind of a way for people to get rid of items that they don't want and obtain some stuff that we're kind of already giving away on the server anyways, but this is kind of like a quicker, more fun way to do it. And I'm going to put this here as a payment chest. Here, let's do this. Let's say read me, and then we'll in parentheses say payments. There we go. Payment goes here. So yeah, that's kind of the shop. Now, the talk of adding space for other things, because obviously there's not any space left in here, right? Like we've got all of this stuff up here. The upstairs is just an office. We're going to be adding kind of an underground to this area, and this is going to be the entrance to, or one of the entrances to, almost like an underground black market sort of area that I want to build underneath the harbor, where we're going to be kind of selling all sorts of kind of crazy, almost illegal things, like we're going to be selling some special gear, maybe trying to bypass some of the other shops that exist. Obviously, this isn't just going to be us. I'll probably be... No, there's monsters nearby. There we go. I'll probably be doing a large amount of it, but I figure if anyone else wants to build something under one of their shops and we can connect it up, we can have kind of this underground area going on beneath the harbor where we've got some shady businesses going. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan for this. I'm going to make a copy of this book so that I just have one to edit, and then I'm going to sign this one so it can't be edited. I'm going to change this to say, where'd it go? I'm going to change this to say, we do not accept items that can be obtained from automated farms or blocks. Okay. Or blocks of any kind. I can't put a D. It's too many letters. No. Can I, if I delete this, oh, then I can't enter there. All right, I'll change this in a second. It doesn't matter. But that is going to do it for today's episode. That is it. That is all that we have time for today. Because I want to try and get this up tomorrow, and I'm realizing I have to upload a video right now because it's about to be 5, and that's when it's supposed to go live. But that's going to do it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to be messing around with probably some Halloween decorations and stuff, getting ready for spooky Halloween. I'm probably only going to be decorating my shops and my bases, and let everyone else do their stuff on their own. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed. I had a lot of fun building this little project. And I'm excited for what we're going to be doing in the future with this. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.